Hello, I'm Martha Van Dam, and this is Living Beyond. And today we're talking about living beyond betrayal, betrayal in your relationships. I do believe it's the most painful thing that a couple can face is betrayal in their relationship. And today, the big word, the D word, disclosure. A lot of women that I work with call the day that they find out about their partner's infidelity, they call it D-Day. It's the day of a disclosure, the day they find out, and it is devastating. It is heartbreaking. I'm actually talking about a different kind of disclosure. I'm talking about a disclosure that often happens a little while after the initial disclosure, the day that you find out, your D-Day. Disclosure in the counseling world is a time where if your partner who has betrayed you, your partner will write out, and hopefully this is with the help of a professional, a very experienced professional dealing with infidelity. He will write out the story of what he has done in the world of betrayal to you. Not every woman wants this, but an awful lot of them will find that before they can move forward and let go of what's happened and move forward into healing in the present and the future, they will feel like they want to have a more solid understanding of what actually happened to me. How was I betrayed? A way of describing it that I've read about, and I love this description, that is that it's almost you're trying to heal without knowing what happened to you. It's like having a whole bunch of puzzle pieces that you're trying to put together, but you don't have a picture. You don't know what it is that the picture's going to look like at the end, and you don't even know if you have all the pieces. Your partner who has done the betraying, he has all the pieces. He knows everything that happened. He knows when it started. He knows what it looked like, and he knows how or if it ended. He knows everything. And you are at this place of not having all of that information. That can make it very difficult to move forward. So disclosure in this world is that opportunity for you to know in a healthy and the safest way possible, you to know exactly what it is that you've dealt with. And the way that I do it with my people is that there is another therapist that I partner with for these particular events. He usually works with the men, and I usually am working with the wife or the partner, the woman. And he will work with that man and help the man to come up with his disclosure statement. And it will tell the whole story of everything that happened in the infidelity. It might even start with particular, like in the case of porn addiction, it might even start during the man's childhood when he first saw porn, or what he learned from his parents about sexuality or about trust or about fidelity. And he will describe exactly what he did. Now, it's very, very important. And this is why it's almost mandatory for the husbands to work with a therapist to do this. It is so important that as he's writing this, he's not doing anything that places blame on you or on anybody else. This letter is about taking responsibility for his actions. This is what I did. This also letter is not about at all showing concern or care for the other person that he was with, because I know you don't care and you don't want to hear about that. This is not about anything that him expressing his sadness or what he has dealt with. There's another time for that. So this letter of disclosure can be exceptionally helpful. One further step that we take in my office is that most of the women that I work with will say, well, how do I know who's telling me the truth? How will I know? If he said they had an emotional relationship, but it never got physical, how do I know? He's lied to me about other things. How do I know he's telling me the truth? So what most of the women in my practice choose to do and is to let their husband or partner or spouse know that that I want you to have a polygraph test. And so the man will write the letter. The letter goes to a local polygrapher. She then creates questions and will question that we set up a time. He meets with her she asks him questions based on his letter of disclosure. And then if he passes polygraph, then it's pretty sure that the wives usually feel so much more secure that they can count on what they're hearing. And I have seen cases when the husband did not pass the polygraph. And it's been interesting. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're intentionally lying. It can mean also that they're lying to themselves and not being fully upfront with themselves about the extent of what something meant or what they did. So a lot can come out of that. It can be very, very valuable for moving forward. So the man gets the letter to the polygrapher. She does the polygraph test. When it all comes back that now he's passed a test, then we have the husband read to the wife the letter with both therapists present. So both individuals have someone kind of backing them, and someone's there for support. And then for the wife, I always schedule that letter reading is going to take, I don't know, 45 minutes ish, maybe an hour by the time we get settled, have some water, and then read the letter. And then I schedule leave time open for there to be time me just to be with her afterward, so that if she is upset, if she's heard something she didn't know, if it's upsetting hearing it all in one time, whatever it is, there's some support there for her. And the way we do it is I will leave in another, my office is a suite. So I come in with my client into this office, and the husband can stay in another office with his therapist, or online if his therapist is online, so that he can have some time. I ask them not to come in the same cars unless we absolutely are sure there's not going to be anything new and the couple is fine to come together. I want them for the most part being in separate cars, so that if it is exceptionally difficult, they don't have to get in a car and ride home together. If there's a possibility that there may be something new revelation, something exceedingly painful, and they don't want to be in the same house, then we ask about ahead of time, can someone be in a different place for that night? Someone stay with a friend, with a family member in a hotel, but just someplace so that if we need space, we go ahead and make contingency plan for if this is difficult, where might you want to be afterward if you don't feel like looking at your person. So that is how we do it. The benefit of it is that once women find out exactly all they're dealing with, they're just so much better equipped because they have knowledge. And it's an old axiom that knowledge is power, but it's true. When we know what we're dealing with, we are so much better equipped now to move forward. And I have yet to hear a client say that she wished that she had not had disclosure. I have not had that happen. I've had many of them say, when is he going to be ready? I've been waiting. I feel like I need disclosure. And so that's actually been the more likely, and you may be in that case. I don't know. But also the tail end of this is absolutely reminding you that disclosure is best done with professionals involved, but more than likely you'll find it very, very helpful. It gets those questions answered. One thing I would suggest if you're asking for disclosure is to think about exactly how much detail you want, because I will suggest to you, you want as little detail as possible. You want enough to have a good idea of what happened, but you don't want specific details, because the specific details, once they're in your head, you can't unknow them. And it's just something as simple as this. Don't ask for specifically the restaurant they went to. If they ate at a Mexican restaurant, every time you drive past any Mexican restaurant, you're going to be reminded, and that will just make it painful. It doesn't matter which restaurant they were in. What matters is that they went somewhere together. And I hope this is not the case for you because this is so painful, but if by chance your partner had sex or multiple times of sex with this person, do not ask about the details. You do not want those details in your brain. Once they are there, you can't get them out, and they will continue to bother you. So absolutely, that you don't want to ask so many details that then you can't, it just makes it so much harder for you. So that's what disclosure is all about. You get to decide if you want it or not. If you want it and your partner doesn't want to give it, you get to push for it. If you're seeing counselors, you get to let your counselor know, no, I want it. And if he doesn't want it, then there's an awful lot of questions behind that. Why? What is he afraid of? He needs to deal with that with his counselor. But you have every right to ask for disclosure. And in most cases, women do find it beneficial. So that's what disclosure is about. I'll leave you to think about it. And especially, I hope that you'll talk over the idea of disclosure with your counselor. This is not something to tackle on your own, but it can be very beneficial. Okay, I hope that there are beautiful, beautiful moments in your day-to-day. And if those moments don't just show up by accident and just show up of their own volition, then you make them, create them. Find something that is special and beautiful for you today, and you make it happen. Thanks so much. I hope you have beautiful moments in your day. Goodbye.